Again, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for coming over. As the news come out, I will continue to do my best to try to cover and react to it. Got this video here again from TMZ. Diddy trial situation takes shocking turn. I don't know what this is, but all I'm going to say is, what we last heard was that he could possibly be getting out by Thanksgiving or Christmas if you add the time served, and saying that they're going to try to go for the lowest of the low as far as prison time. Hey, what is life going to look like out of prison for him? We ain't gonna waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So we got some information. We broke this story a couple hours ago. Diddy is behind bars, but he is enrolled in 2 classes in jail. A class.
These are programs.
Okay, so it looks like they're talking more about what I covered already from the other video. They talked about the 2 for the use and the violence classes that he's taken. Okay, hopefully they'll give new information or go into more detail.
That are offered by the federal government in the prison system for inmates, and he is enrolled in both of these programs. He's also, we're told, in therapy separate from those 2 programs, and all of these things that he's doing typically for one reason: to look good for the judge.
Well, it's important because sentencing comes up October 3rd. And Diddy, look, everything that I know tells me that he will get between 1 and 2 years. And I think it's going to be closer to 1.
Damn,
prosecution
dude
is asking for 4. That's just not going to happen for a Mann Act violation. So if that's right, look, he wants to get the lowest he can get, and I think it's going to be between that 1 and 2 range. To get the 1, I think he's got to show the judge that he is taking his misdeeds seriously.
Right. And by the way, we know that even when the judge said that he was not going to let him out on bail pending sentencing, one of the things he mentioned was his violence. We've seen his violence with this program.
Again, the fact that they reiterated about the defense, it was almost like, he is violent, but he ain't being charged for that. Boy, it was so much that was said in this case, and then it was so much that wasn't. Almost feel bamboozled, man, for thinking that a lot of stuff was going to be brought up, but it wasn't.
Charles, he doesn't have to address it, but he is addressing it, and this might help him with regards to his sentence. Maybe the judge might sentence him to lesser time because he's working on himself.
But Jamie, you know what the complication here is that he's been found not guilty on the charges that relate to violence. That there was no conviction using force, fraud, or coercion in these 3 ways.
I think he's trying to. Because I asked at the beginning, I said, what does life look like out of prison for him? Maybe he's trying to do this to rebuild his image. So, because I'm just trying to think as far as sponsorship, how many hits, like, did everybody leave? And how hard is it going to be to get any new deals or to work with new artists or just whatever, for him to go back to producing and all that stuff? How many people are willing to work with him? And I feel like by him doing these classes, these programs, it's like, look, man, I did these classes. I'm in a better mind state now, this and this and that and that. And somebody gonna be like, all right, man, I believe you. I want to work with you now. I'm just wondering if that's going to happen, because there's still a lot of people out there gullible enough to think that, again, I ain't saying people can't change, but do you guys think that he's going to change? That's the question.
Cassie video was off the table. The only thing he's been convicted of is taking.
But there
Can't
were
but can't the judge consider
Yeah.
all of the testimony in the that was presented at the trial?
But the defense is going to say he was found not guilty on those things. So it's really kind of an interesting.
there's that, but there's another side of this. And Jamie, you've been working on this story for 5 days now to lock this down. But what was there was one key word, one of the sources you spoke to. You remember what that word was?
Yeah, redemption.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
the other part of this.
Yeah.
That this is Diddy looking at my life after prison. Because now that he knows he's not going to be locked away for decades, not going to be locked away for the rest of his life,
He could get out this
he
year.
wants to
with
be
time
able,
served.
wants to be able to do business, and in order to do that, for people to work with him, even in the entertainment field, he's got to show that he is changing, or he's.
I literally, I literally just said it. I literally just said it. Yeah. Comment, if you haven't already, please comment down below. Do you think people are going to work with him? I already know a few who will. People like French Montana or the Rick Rosses. It's going to be a few people who going to be hyped. I'm just wondering if this man was going to have the kahunas to make a not guilty song. Oh, he's already done that before. Wow.
Addressing the things that everyone saw come out in this trial.
Right.
So this is about,
It's
part
true.
of this is also about what is my life after prison and how can I still be a successful businessman.
Bruh.
And you know, it's interesting because we've talked about this before, that lawyers who represent people in positions like Diddy now, they have two responsibilities. You know, get them acquitted if you can, and what is their life going to look like after they get out?
Right.
And so there are two components, and this kind of serves
Both of those.
both
yeah.
of those. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Alicia, and I am from New Jersey. And I actually think it's a positive thing that Diddy is taking this step towards redemption and going to therapy. And I really feel that everybody is worthy of that, but he really has to show it. And I mean, I hope that he is taking this seriously, because I think the public is having a hard time processing and really believing that he's really going to change
Right.
in probably this short amount of time. So I really hope that he says what he's going to do. And I think that the rest of the public can agree that it's going to be difficult trying to understand what accountability and redemption look like in this case.
Yeah. Well, we will see.
Yes,
But
it's going to be very complicated.
again, it's possible he's going to get out by Thanksgiving.
I don't know. I've heard you say that. I gotta disagree. There's just
Well, I'll tell you why. If he gets a year, which is possible, he will have served close to a year. Plus, he gets certain credits. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it's possible.
The judge,
Is going to give
when
him a
the
year.
prosecutors are asking for 4, and I agree with you that it's not going to be that.
Let me tell you why.
But if the judge were to give him a sentence that lets him walk out before the end of the year,
Let me tell you why. Because the judge asked the prosecutors, give me a case. So this is what the back and forth now. Give me a case where a John was prosecuted under the Mann Act for this. It's usually.
Right.
And so now the prosecution is looking for a case. I'm told cases like this are really hard to find. And if
All right. So I mean, that was a little similar to what I knew already, or a lot, I should say. But it was just good to hear, because it was just Harvey at first, so it was good to hear other people's input on that. knowing that we feel the same way. I do feel like it's going to be incredibly difficult for him to rebuild his image and this redemption to the people who kind of looking at this like, what the hell? But like for the people close to him, his peers, a lot of people in the industry, you're going to see. So here's the real question. What does this do for other people in the industry that may support him and work with him? What does that do for their brand? What are those discussions going to be like? You know, what if I'm trying to think of an artist? I don't know. Just what if an artist that's very established be like, I want to work with him. What are those conversations like with his team? I don't think this is a good look. This ain't gonna be good for your brand because, you know, although he was found not guilty of this, he was found guilty of that. And I just don't think in a public eye they're gonna accept this well. That's where I'm coming from. You know? But then evil attracts evil. So if you have a lot of people who are on this same wavelength, link, whatever, they gonna be excited to work with him. We'll see. We'll see. You already know his son gonna probably make a song with him. But hey, appreciate y'all again coming over. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.